welcome. My name is Teresa, and in this video I am going to show you how to turn this scene from the Peaceful Moments set into a bridal scene. If this is your first time visiting our channel, we would appreciate it if you went ahead and subscribed. And while you're at it, click on that bell icon. That way you'll be notified when we post our next video. So if you're ready, let's get to stamping. I want to take you through a little story first. When I was looking at this Peaceful Moments set, this scene right here, I think it's beautiful as is, but somehow in my mind, I saw a bride and a flower girl. So I went straight to my craft table and I want to show you my third or fourth attempt. And I was pretty pleased with this. But if you notice, there's no legs or anything on the bride, so I was freehanding all of those gowns. And to be quite honest, I just didn't like what the result was. So back to the drawing board I went, and the second one I came up with was this one. And I liked it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. It kind of felt a beach vibe, and I didn't mind that at all. But I went back and I played with a few more. Let me show you the next one that I did. This time I played with some pinks and some grays, and I liked that. I posted these to a couple of the social media outlets that were on, and I started receiving private messages asking me, how did you do that? And thus we're going to do this video. I have a few more that I've already done, but I'll show you those at the end. In the meantime, let's get started, and we'll make one that I feel is a little bit fall inspired. Not a little bit, a lot. You'll see in a second. The first thing I did is I took some of this beautiful early espresso paper, this nice dark brown color. And to save time, because we have a lot of instructions, I went ahead, cut a piece of the white, the 4 by 5 1/4. Actually, I cut 2 of them, one for the inside, and this one, I hope you can see it. Let me make sure. Oh, yes, you got it. I used our new Dainty Diamonds embossing folder. Let me grab it right here. And I'm going to use this several times, but isn't that pretty? So now we have that nice texture on the back. So the base of our card is built. We can set that aside. Then I knew that I wanted to really bring in some fall colors, so I took a piece, excuse me, of this gorgeous paper right here. Now this is our pumpkin spice. So that's our next layer. And again, we can leave that off to the side. To save time, I went ahead and I stamped an image. I didn't alter it in any way, shape, or form. But I wasn't quite happy. I knew that I didn't want to leave a blank space on this card up here. So, since I have the brand new set, Celebrate Sunflowers, and this is a fall card after all, I went ahead, took the smaller one, and I popped it up there in the corner. Now I did take liberty to do a few other things. Using our watercolor pencils, I went ahead and I got started. For the sunflower, I just took early espresso and I started coloring it in, because usually the center of sunflowers are this beautiful brown color. Now in real life, they could almost be, it's such a dark brown that it looks black. But we have artistic license in our cards to make them appear however we want. I could work on this shading a lot more, but that's not the best interest of time. Then from this set, I took the Daffodil Delight and I just started coloring in the leaves. Or the petals. Sorry, those aren't leaves, those would be petals. But there is a little leaf over here that I used the Old Olive, again from that set. Taking the pumpkin spice, I wanted to add just little pops of that beautiful orange, because we are going to use pumpkin spice in a few other places. For example, in the little girl's dress. Now, let's talk about these dresses real quick. I'm gonna hold this up, sorry for the noise, so you can see. I took a pencil and I created a little keyhole back, just a simple line here and down to connect. Then of course I filled in the color, the dress with the pumpkin spice. The headband is the Daffodil Delight. For the bride, I wanted another keyhole effect. So I freehanded that with a pencil very lightly, and I thought I'm satisfied with that. So I took the basic black pencil and I just drew over top of it, because I felt the basic black was pretty close to the black ink that we used on the stamp. Again, both of the hairs are an early espresso, just shading in as we want. So we have the basics done. Now we can move on to the dress assembly. Let's deal with the bride's dress first. taking some Whisper White cardstock, and you don't need much. I'll show you what I did. You want to go ahead and you want to run it through the Dainty Diamonds. And again, I want you to see that pattern up there. Let me get it into the light just right. Do you see it? I think that's a good shot. And then I cut out some leaves. These leaves, I know you're wondering, came from our prized peony set. As a matter of fact, I used this one for the bride, her dress, and then I grabbed this big chunky one. That's right, that's what we're going to use for the girl's dress. Pop that off to the side. Now, I talked about embossing the white and cutting out the pieces. So here's the pieces we'll need for the bride's dress. You're probably thinking, what is she doing? You'll see. For the little girl's dress, I took a piece of Saffron Cardstock, and I ran this through an embossing folder I had. It's not in the current catalog, but it has little polka dots. Please use whatever embossing folders you have on hand. It's fine. If you need some, we have some gorgeous ones in the catalog. But I had the some polka dot ones, so I embossed it first, then I cut out just 2 pieces, so you don't need a lot of paper at all. Just 2 pieces. Can you see my polka dots on that? Let's see. There you go. That's all I did. And we're going to turn that into a dress. The heck you say, the heck I say. Now, I say that word a lot, I apologize. I want some of these mini glue dots, and we're going to use a lot of them, or I am going to use a lot of them. For the dress, you want to play with it first before you get to cutting. This was my thought. I'm looking at that nice bubbly outside, and I'm going to match it on this side. So I will need to do a little bit of trimming. So take your scissors, and less is more. I cut off these 2 parts just like that. In the Stampin' Up world, they do a lot of fussy cutting. It's just freehand cutting. Let's place this here. See, it's going to be a nice bubble dress, but I think that might not work. We shall see. Taking this piece, I don't like how that overlaps quite that way, so I'm going to, this is where you're going to be able to make it your own. I'm just going to cut that like this. Place it back there. Oh yeah, I'm liking it so far. Now I know I don't want these little, I'm sure they're leaf or petal pieces from the set. Get rid of that. Do you see how it's turning into a nice poofy dress for her? There we go. Oh yes, I like it, I like it, I like it. Pardon me for reaching over you. I think that's about how I want it, but I want it a little bit more. I need it that way. I'm going to take it to the side. Okay, for a piece this big, I am going to put on several glue dots. One maybe there, one here. Okay, so I'm using about 3 of them because it's a rather large piece. There we go. And once you get it on, you're going to want it to stay on. That's for sure. I should have cut a little bit more from here. That's good. I didn't put a glue dot there. I want that tucked up out of the way. You see? And then we're going to put her like that. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I like it. Now, once I started playing with this idea, the ideas just kept coming and coming and coming. And before you know it, I was committed to trying to design one for every month of the year. Now, it's okay if we see a little bit of her dress. We're going to hide that with a piece of ribbon, but there you go. Isn't that cute? I think so. Now, let's get to work on the bride's dress. Now, this leaf, if I did it this way, I'd have a lot of movement and texture, but I think at the bottom I'm going to put 2 glue dots on each one. I want that to go this way. You are going to have to kind of think about how you want it to flow. And I want it to kind of follow that natural curvature. So that one I think is going to go there. Grab another glue dot. Full disclosure, I did make some of the earlier some of the earlier cards that I'm not showing you because I didn't like the finished product. I didn't emboss any of the leaves on the dresses, and to me that just wasn't enough. I really like the added texture that the embossing gives them. But that doesn't mean it won't work beautifully without it. It just means I wasn't able to come up with something that I thought was really pretty. I like this to kind of fan out a little. So we're going to put that there. And you're like, well, Teresa, you probably laid this out ahead of time. You'd be surprised. I think sometimes the accidents turn out the best. Now here, I'm going to go the other way. I want that scallopy look, but I'm going to try to put it up where I think her waistline is. And thanks to that keyhole that I did, I kind of know, so I can eyeball that. Grab some more glue dots. Oh, I'm running out of pieces. I only have three more cut. Okay, grab that glue dot and that glue dot. And again, I like that little leafy look. And this time I know that I want it to come down that way. That's it. I like that. Look at this. I might have a leaf left over. Thinking yes. Gonna have a leaf left over. Oh, I got one on my hand. No, I didn't. Okay. And this last one, we're just going to take from the center. Pop that there. Look. See? Look at this. Now it is missing a couple of elements. I do want to put bows and a little veil on her. Now for the veils, I have been using our polka dot tool. And for this one, instead of a long veil, because she has that gorgeous keyhole back dress, and I know if I had a nice back like that, those days are gone, I would probably want a keyhole dress. But I'm going to take just the smallest piece of this polka dot ribbon, and then I'm just going to squish it and kind of tie it. And what I'm trying to do is make a little round guy out of that. And once I got it all knot, I'm going to go back to our mini glue dots, pick one up right there on the edge, kind of smush it around a little. Doesn't have to be perfect, no one's going to see it. And I think the hair comes together right here at the base, and I'm going to pop that right there. Let me hold this up so you can see. See that? This is a good moment just to pause, just so you can take a good look at what we've done. Now you might be worried about that. It's going to be covered, not an issue. But look, so sweet. Now the choice of colors are endless, what you can do in terms of ribbons for the bodices. I haven't thought enough about it, so I'm going to have to wing it right now on the spot with you. I really am kind of thinking, I have a little of leftover twine. Let's see if I like the twine. This is a green twine. This might even be discontinued. I'm not 100% certain. I should know that. But again, the important part in this video is just to show you what I did. I want you using your imagination and coming up with your designs. As a matter of fact, I would like it if you came over to our Facebook page at Stamping and Sipping with Tea and shared pictures of your designs. Okay, then you're going to have to do a little playing with this. And chances are, if you're watching this channel, you're either a friend of mine who's supporting me, in which case I thank you so kindly, or you're an interested party and you're crafty already, so you don't mind this at all. Oh yes, see, that's gonna work. Happy little accidents. Grabbing a glue dot. I'm thinking, as you can see, I'm gonna grab it this way, do the old roll it up between your fingers technique into a little ball, pop it on the back of that, and place that right there. I don't know how far I'm going to cut her dress. I like the big bow. I think a big bow on the back of a little girl is perfectly fine. Some dresses also call for it. It depends. Depends as far as the bride goes. It depends upon the bride, in my opinion. It depends upon her dress. All right, I'm playing with it too much. There we go. Look at that. Now we do need to do something for her. And in this case, I I'm feeling the gray. Feeling this gray ribbon because it's got a shimmer, and the wedding dress usually is more, it doesn't have to follow the theme at all, although you could. We could always pick a color that complements, but I am feeling a piece of this gray. So what I'm gonna do, and it doesn't have to be a very big piece at all, just gonna take that. How much of that junk can you see? Probably too much. And we're gonna just tie it in a knot. Should have tied it first and then cut it off. Next time, tie it first, then cut it off. Anyhow, you do want to pull this really, really tight. I mean, tight, 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 because that looks itty bitty to you, but you put it on that tiny waist and it's all of a sudden going to look too large. There we go. And you'll see what I mean. You do have to play with it and pull. That's going to be way too big for her. Look at that. So we're going to cut it down. And I like to cut it at an angle. I'm going to take this much off. Yep, commit. Bam, do it. Worst case scenario, cut another piece, which I don't think I'm going to do. I like a little ruffle. That's fine. And let's do this one. I try to keep all the trash off camera, but something tells me you're seeing it. Okay, that's fine if you are. And this little piece, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna like that there. That's what I want for her. So again, back to the little mini glue dots. I told you we would be using a lot of these little glue dots. I put it on the half part and then I'm gonna bend it over. Let's position it right there. There she is. Isn't she adorable? Now all we have to do is apply her to the base of this piece of cardstock. I do have the new, whoops, there's the lid, the stamping seal. Okay, so let's get to doing that. Let's bring back in our embossed piece. Now before this stamping seal, I probably would have said use some of the glue because of the little nooks and crannies, but with our new stamping seal, not even telling you that. You would think I was done, and now the decision is to cut the long strings of the gown or not. I'm not going to, but you know I'm not done. Come on, wink of Stella. I don't know. And I do know in nature a sunflower is not going to sparkle. But in my world, well, I shouldn't say sparkle. What should I say? Come on, guys. Shimmer, yes. And I'm just gonna do, look how it makes it pop too. And I wanna bring a little to the girl's dress, right over top, just a touch. I could get carried away, but I'm gonna stop. Of course, the bride's gown, all right, no, I'm not gonna stop. I love this because on the gown, it actually gives it a very faint, gray appearance, and I'm kind of loving that with the gray ribbon, and it makes it pop and stand, so I really like that. And for this one, I just have a few more things I want to do. I want to take out our basic jewels, and I'm going to put a couple of these smaller pearls right down here. I'm hoping to get 3 of them on with no problem. They are self-adhesive. And we do have a pick tool. I should be using it, but I guess it's important to demonstrate you don't have to use the pick tool. Look at that. I love that little tiny piece of embellishment right there. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? So I promised you a recap of all the different ones I've done, plus the new one. This was the starting point right here. Nothing wrong with this. And I will show you how to get that to where you can design your own gown if you are so artistic. Then the next one I did was this beautiful beachy scene. In my mind, it's a beach. Then this elegant spring one with little pops of pink. How pretty is that? I should hold them differently, shouldn't I? the next one I have to show you, to me this is sort of a August one, you know, end of summer, beginning of fall, where the fall colors aren't quite real bright and vibrant like this one. And then I have one, I feel this is perfect for January. This is Night of Navy. Oh, look at that. I'm building my, I don't want this one in there. No. But look at that. Let's put this one as the main focus because you all were here for this one. Look at that. Look how versatile that is. Imagine what you can do. Oh. Now, I did promise you I would show you how to use that stamp to create an image that you can design the dress all by yourself. So thank you for sticking around. Let me go ahead and do that for you. I am going to tear off a piece of white cardstock, grab the stamp from the stamp set. I need to pop that out. There she is. Put her on an acrylic block. Now, I'm going to talk to you this way first so you can see. This is important. Through the use of Post-it notes, we are going to cover up anything that we don't want seen. So from the waistband down for both girls. So let's get started with that. Just using these self-adhesive strips. Now I don't mind keeping this side because that will give me a guide to start her dress. So I kept that one in. But everything else, look, I don't want the stamp to hit it. So everything you don't want to see, I feel like I'm talking from Lion King, cover it up. I'm going to cut this one in half because I do need some smaller pieces. And I will ink this once for you to see. I want to capture their arms, but I don't need to capture that part of her dress. So we're going to use that one there. Same thing here, there's her arm. So I just want to get rid of the dress. I will be honest with you, it did take me a couple of times experimenting with this. I got this part right, but I found out, much to my dismay, I'm not as artistically inclined at drawing wedding dresses as I'd hoped. There's little pieces sticking. If I had put them down better, I probably would have covered them with one, but we're going to go ahead and use a second one because I want to get it one shot with you guys. Thank you for sticking around. Now all you need to do is just get your ink, come on ink, and ink it up like you would normally. Now, of course, we don't have to go all the way down here, but we definitely want to ink up all the other spaces that you want to transfer, where you want that image to transfer. Do not stamp it now. You've got to pay attention because I did that. Grab all that off. Do you see that all the ink is not on this section, so that won't transfer. If you see anything that you might not want, go ahead and pop that off right there. And look. Now you have the freedom to design your own dress. Take a pencil and just get to designing. I'm not going to do that because I've attempted that and that didn't work very well for me, but I'm sure it would work for you. And again, one last time, if this has inspired you in any way, shape, or form, if you got a new idea that you're excited about, if you see something here and you think, Teresa, I can just make it better, go ahead, I want you to. But I also want you to take a picture of it and share it with us over on our Facebook page at Stamping and Sipping with Tea. I appreciate that you've watched. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so now. The other thing you could do to show us your support is go ahead and make a comment. Let us know what you liked about it. Till the next time, I'm going to go off and see if I can't come up with another idea for you, and I hope you take this idea and run with it. Thank you so much for watching.